Team USA, Journey for Glory, presented by Travelodge. The 2010 World Cup has come to a close with the United States run ending prematurely. But consider this, America's team played its last match in front of the largest U.S. television audience in the history of the sport. When the wounds of this World Cup have healed, we will eventually see our time in South Africa as a success. One that those involved with developing this beautiful game in America can hang their cleats on with pride. The journey to greater glory has begun.
We have to keep in mind that we're still in our infancy. You know, other countries have had 100 years where they built their culture, and that's what makes them special.
The NASL, which a lot of us remember in the 70s, was still the foreign game that we just happened to be playing in American cities and some places in Canada. It wasn't something that we had any identity with.
My first recollection of really of US soccer would have been in the 70s. I was playing in England in the 70s and it attempted to get soccer going in America and make it big, and it imported huge players. But it never quite took off because it didn't have, I don't think, any foundation to build upon. I think I see a foundation there now that wasn't there 30, 40 years ago.
You go back to Paul Caligieri's goal that they said the shot heard around the world that qualified the national team that I played in to get to Italy in 1990. That was a wake-up call there. 94, Pelé had said that Colombia would be the favorite, and the United States beat them, got into the second round and played against Brazil and played well under Bora Milutinovic. I thought that that was extremely important.
Not until the league came along, I think in 1996, did we have something to grow from.
With Major League Soccer and the infrastructure that they have, that's pushing our players to become ritualized, better players with continuity and consistency to play on the world stage.
I think the biggest push within U.S. soccer is to make sure that things that we see with the national team are communicated well through our Olympic team, our under-20s, our under-17s.
I think what you're getting is your own stars. A sport needs its own stars. American soccer needs its own stars, and it's getting them this World Cup.
If you go to the last 3 World Cups, actually Major League Soccer had played a huge part in having players, a greater number of players that were part of those World Cups, particularly 2002, where Bruce Arena had good success getting to the quarterfinals. Of those players that are playing in Europe, almost all of them have come through Major League Soccer.
I come here in '95 with Newcastle on a pre-season tour, and you could see it was growing, but it was going to take time. And now to have it at this level where it's on all the big channels, I think it's been like a fairy tale. I think it has. I think it started with a few people maybe believing what they can do and hoping what maybe materialise to what it is now.
The word is being passed down, and that we're doing a better job with younger players, giving them a sense as to what they need to be doing on a regular basis to have a chance to play on the national team. And I think that kind of communication, that kind of work together has been successful and is going to continue to push us in a good direction.
I think it's acceptable that it's taken as long in the States because of the other sports that are so popular. You know, the 4 big sports in the States, the NFL, baseball, hockey, and basketball, they don't kind of want, I don't think, an intruder coming in. But they're going to get it now because I think soccer has gotten a hold in the States. And I do think it's here to stay. I didn't in the 70s, I do now.
Over the last 10 years, I think we've achieved at least an identity in this country. And every 4 years, we have the opportunity to show the rest of the world what we're all about.
We know where they came from. Coming up, what is the new identity of the U.S. national team?
And that's in the back of my mind, but we just got to take on this challenge as what it is and not think about the past.
Allowing another early goal, the U.S. faced their 3rd comeback challenge of the tournament. The first opportunity came when Clint Dempsey was brought down in the box, giving the team a penalty kick. Landon Donovan again provided the equalizer in the 62nd minute. That tying goal sent the 2010 World Cup into extra time for the first time. Just 3 minutes in, Ghana scored, sending the whole of the United States reeling. It proved to be the one deficit the U.S. could not overcome.
In hindsight, they will think they've missed out on a wonderful opportunity to progress. I know Ghana weren't an easy team to play against in the last 16, but they were beatable. And I think the US will leave South Africa thinking we could have beaten them.
And this is a World Cup team that had every opportunity to do something great. My biggest My biggest problem with this is that the opportunity was there, and when the world was watching, we failed to deliver. But what we have proven is that we do have talent. And that talent is very misunderstood. Given the opportunity, I think that the guys that we have that we're constantly producing, put them in the right environment, and they'll be able to show us that they're good enough.
I think the World Cup was a real positive for the U.S. As usual, there'll be critics as well, but I think there was a lot of positives, and I think the progress that U.S. soccer has made over the last 10, 12 years has been great, and I think we'll continue to make progress.
People are taking note. They're not seen as now as a team that can get through easily. They've got a lot of respect. You see the teams now playing against them, lining up defensively, so that's great credit to what's been done in the past and what's going to happen in the future.
In 80 years, it's the first time that the U.S. national team has gone undefeated in the first round and topped the group. That's pretty impressive. They reinvigorated themselves in games where, in difficult phases, in difficult adversity, they were able to triumph as a team. The spirit and the country really loved that.
We understand that every 4 years, to some degree, that growth will be put to the test by the results of that World Cup. That's just the way it is. I guess at the end of it, there's this growth that I think has happened in the game in this country, but it'll always come down to 90 minutes.
The World Cup is over. It's time to look ahead. Coming up, what does the future hold for soccer in the United States?
There's so much intertwined with this game. Passion is very important, but we've been moved by certain artists like Picasso from the early 50s with the great Hungarian generation called the Aranycsapat, which meant the golden team, and they even described them worldwide as Hungarian ballet.
People weave patterns on the pitch. I mean, every game that starts, I think, every match that starts, it's like a blank tapestry of the football pitch. And the players go onto it and they make something happen. And when it really works well, and when you get something special, it is beautiful to watch. And I think that's why people refer to it as the beautiful game.
There's moments and intricacies and nuance to the game that you can't explain, that can move you, that can give you goosebumps, that you'll remember for 20 plus years.
It's a thinking man's game. It's not something that you stifle personality. You always see personality in this game because it's the only sport where you really get to be yourself. Good, bad, or indifferent, you get to be you.
Soccer means so much to families. I know families where all they live, eat, and breathe for is how their soccer team performs. That's their whole week. That's what football does. It absorbs you, and you can't leave it behind.
This is the one sport that doesn't discriminate. You know, the ball doesn't have eyes, it doesn't see colors, it doesn't go against any cultures. And, you know, if you love this game, it's an international passport anywhere because everybody has the essence and feeling and love for this game, and that's what makes it so special.
You only have to look back to, I think, 1950, when this great footballing nation called England came to this USA, who hardly knew what a soccer ball looked like, and they beat England 1-0. That's what soccer does. Anyone can play it. No one knows who's going to win it. You don't know what you're going to see.
I've done some work for the Premier League and gone to Africa and Banda Aceh after the tsunami, and to take a soccer ball into an area that had been decimated, kids was playing. It gives so much enjoyment, and I think everybody can kick a ball. I think it makes it exciting for young children and also old people to get involved.
It's not exclusive because everyone can play it. It doesn't matter whether you're the richest nation in the world or a third world country. You can still get a round thing made up of whatever you want when you're a kid, and everyone plays it because of that.